Not one, two, three.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.
All right, everybody. How y'all doing this evening? Thank you for joining an episode of AKiem and Beth's Journey, Our Journey show.
Journey. Hi, everyone. Hope you all are doing well.
Yeah. We've having a great week, right? I just put up a light fixture.
Yes, and it looks beautiful.
Right before the show, like 15 minutes before the show.
Yeah.
To get it up, had to change out a light fixture. We had an old 18th century, a little old looking one, the little gold chandelier, cheap looking ones. But we got that done, and
it looks really good.
Cleaned out the garage.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
Yep.
And I'm sweating a little bit. So today's show is about what? The reality versus expectations in a relationship. We all have expectations that we want out of a relationship, but do we actually get those expectations fulfilled? Because sometimes reality doesn't match up with our expectations. I guess the reason why I wanted to do this show.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Because I think it's a good show because we have these expectations, and then when we get into the situation, we're like, this is not what I expected.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we have to see, was our expectations realistic based on, what we wanted?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I think we could have unrealistic expectations. Because we form a image of a person in our mind that we want them to represent or be. Right. And then we start seeing something different from that. Right. We have a problem with it. Like, I don't like that, instead of accepting what we see and then making a decision from there.
Right. Well, I think we should have some basic expectations, like the expectation of the person loving you, the expectation of someone who's loyal to you, someone that respects you. So
what else? Any other expectations? How about bedroom expectations? We're adults.
I think that could be.
I want backflips. I want chandeliers.
I think that.
See, that's an expectation,
I think
it
gets better over time.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's one of my fantasies, but will it ever happen? That's another thing.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing any backflips. I can tell you that.
We had can they hear us?
I hope so.
I don't know. Hold on. Yeah. I don't know if they can hear us or not. Let's see. Yeah, this sounds working.
Okay.
Because I was like, people came in and left. Am I spelling that right? No. Trying to type something in the chat. I'm trying to wait for more people to get in. People jumping in and jumping out. Peace,
Mm-hmm.
prosperity, and we ain't talking about money. That's the problem. Maybe if we were talking about some drama, they'd be flocking like we were sitting there arguing with each other, calling
Yeah,
each
I'm
other
sure.
names.
Oh yeah.
Those seem like the most
Yeah.
popular shows, but I refuse to go down that road.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like Atlanta Housewives or something. Um, but okay, back to experience. I'm trying to type in this chat
Expectations.
um to everybody. My usual people are not on yet. Maybe we should give them a few minutes. But um okay, yeah, basic expectations,
Mm-hmm.
loyalty, being trustworthy,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Respect.
respected,
Mm-hmm.
and loved.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Yeah.
think that love, the real love of a relationship takes time.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have the degree of love for someone, to get that deeper love. e-
Unconditional. That
Love is
unconditional love.
unconditional by definition, I think. But what I'm saying is, you have a level of love where you care for a person, you don't want to see harm to them, and then you have a level of love where if that person wasn't in your life,
Mm-hmm.
it would be a void missing, and you
Right.
would
Yeah.
seek to uh, make sure to their well-being
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
anything. Can everybody hear us good out there? I just want to check. Hey, Karen.
Happy
Um,
Friday, Karen.
yeah. Um, that level of deep love where without a doubt you would do anything for that person within your
Mm-hmm.
power if you
Mm-hmm.
could.
Right.
Yeah, she said she could hear us great. Thank
Okay.
you.
And
Um,
you're saying that takes time
I think that over time that builds. I think people expect that
in the
out the
beginning,
gate.
right? Yeah.
But how can you expect that out of someone you just been dating for maybe a year,
Right.
2 years? That I
Right.
think over time, like let's just say like the love my parents have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 52, so they 51 years of marriage,
Mm-hmm.
uh, going on 52.
Mm-hmm.
Over time, it's just like that's just family. You know what you expect them to be there every day.
Right.
You already have the expectation. There's no surprises,
Right.
and that type of love over time will
Mm-hmm.
it's just they become a fixture in your life.
Right. Yeah, I think intimacy too, like happens over time. Like sometimes it doesn't just it doesn't just happen right off the bat, but it happens over time as you get to know someone and what they like and what they don't like.
Hmm. Now, going with expectations, you have to be able to
Hmm.
communicate that. That goes back to one of
Hmm.
our other shows. Because we have these expectations, but sometimes we don't communicate the expectations.
Right.
Like, for instance, you might want something done in a particular way, right?
Hmm.
Let's just say in the bedroom,
Hmm.
without going into details, you might like something a particular way,
Hmm.
and I might hit on it every now and then. I come close and then I miss the mark.
Hmm.
But I think you have that expectation. You should be able to communicate that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I absolutely
Say
agree.
it.
Yeah.
And I think because we weren't taught how to talk about those things,
Hmm.
is it's a challenge to say, this is what I like in an intimate way.
Yeah, I agree.
And, but I think we need to do that because if we could talk, we find it very easy to argue and yell at each other. Boom, easy.
Hmm.
But uh, we find it hard to say the things that need to be said to
Hmm.
make a loving, intimate relationship. If you
Right.
had that open communication in that area
Right.
and communicate your expectations so that they can become a reality.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I think you hit on it when you said we're not taught that as children. We're not taught how to communicate about intimacy, about sex. We're not taught that. Especially if you're from like a religious family.
Right.
Like,
That's taboo.
you know.
Like, but they can tell us everything else, how God is going to kill everybody if you don't listen, but
Hmm.
they can't tell us how to love. The very thing, what I find interesting, the very thing that brings life into the world, we
Hmm.
have a problem
Hmm.
talking about it. Like, it's
Hmm.
like you start talking about sex, everybody ears perk up and like that's like unusual. What are they talking about?
Right.
It's
Right.
not normal. But if
Hmm.
we start talking about, drama, um, it's like, okay, this is normal.
Right.
That's normal
Yeah.
communication.
Yeah. That's strange.
It is. Well, it's not strange to most people, but it shows how the world is flipped around.
Hmm.
The things we need to be doing, we're not doing.
Hmm.
The things that will make it something better, we're not doing that. We're
Hmm.
doing the things that kind of destroy.
Hmm.
Um, so back to
Yeah.
expectations. Like I said, if you don't explain your expectations good, no one would know how to bring that to reality.
Right. Right. You know, I was thinking about when you talked about expectations, I was thinking about how we're going to Las Vegas next week, but I was just thinking about going on vacation in general. And
Mm,
sometimes before we go, we have this expectation in our mind of how it's going to be, what we're going to do,
hmm.
and we're not, um, we tend to not be like in the present moment,
Right,
because we're so focused about what we're expecting to happen,
right.
you know? And I think that goes with relationships too. We need to learn how to be in the present moment.
Hmm. Like when you say in the present moment, meaning,
Just being in the moment, just enjoying every moment that we're together instead of expecting what's going to happen next.
oh, okay, looking too far in the future.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because, yeah, right. Future is just a dream, really. You only have this moment now.
Right.
So
Right.
live there.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I've said that plenty of times. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's true. And I think you're right. We in a relationship, like you said, you look into the future. I will have these specs. I want us to have a good time,
Hmm.
and you're not in right
In
now
the moment. Yeah.
thinking about making this moment a good time. And then
Right.
when you get to that time, you deal with that, making that a good time,
Right.
as much as you could. And I think that's what brings about the disappointment because you have
Yes.
all these
Yeah.
generating all this excitement before
Hmm.
you get there. And then when you get there, it's a different reality.
Yeah. And I just thought about like, you know, when I'm teaching my students online and I'm doing my shows,
Mm-hmm.
I think I have too much expectations of myself,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm disappointed thinking that I could have done so much better instead of just being in the moment like you know you always tell me. But yeah, I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, we had you know what? When we took the pictures last week, that was last week, right?
Yeah.
Last Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
It was Thursday or Wednesday?
I think
Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah.
So we had a moment, a couple's moment that
Oh
wasn't so
yes.
positive right before we went in there, right?
Yeah.
And we almost didn't do the pictures. Now we had this expectation of going in there doing things
Yeah.
great, and then something happened to destroy that expectation,
Right.
and almost didn't do it, but um, we did it,
Mm-hmm.
and it turned out great. Actually, I know I showed this in the beginning. Um, let's see, man. We'll give y'all a sample of the pictures we took. These are just a few. Here it is.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.
All right, there you go. That's some of the pictures we took, but we had a major setback in our communication and likability towards each other. But that's how the pictures turned out. You can't tell that happened. So it's showing you, like you said, stay in the moment. You can be in one frame of mind. I think the big lesson I learned from it, that you can have those moments, but you can transform them, even though you don't have to let it go on. And keep, because as you keep remembering it, you're reliving it, and that incident will keep reliving itself, replaying in your mind, and you'll have those same emotions when it first happened. And what happened, once we changed our mind, changed our mood, it was like it didn't happen.
And sometimes you just gotta push through it,
right?
Push through those emotions that you're feeling, because if it wasn't for you coming back outside, it would have never happened.
Oh yeah.
So you pushed me a little bit. So
I said, hey, we paid half this money. We should live this. I think it was a defining moment, really, and of what you can do in a tough situation. Even we don't have to let bad situations keep going on. We could change that.
Right.
So Maxim said he liked the pictures. He said that. What's our banner? Like and subscribe. I know this is a new show. We didn't do one last week. It's really tough to do more than one show. You can take that off. It's tough to do more than one show a week, because I'm doing a lot. I help people with their problems, issues that they have. I do consultations. Plus, I have the premium membership where I'm doing meetings. 3 weeks out of the month, I'm doing meetings with the 3 groups and putting trust together. So, doing this show, I have to push through to get this show. But I think this show is important. And I know the watch hours are not a lot, but I know in time it's going to build up, because people want to see positive situation. I think we need to show more of us, people of color. I don't like using the word black. I want to call us Aboriginal, Indigenous Americans of dark skin, showing us in good relationships. Now, I'm not saying our relationship's not perfect. It doesn't always have good days or good times, but we're not going to show you that. We don't need to show you that. We just need to show you the good stuff. And I don't think that's being pretentious.
But I think we could also show, how we get through the challenges.
Right.
Because we do have challenges, people have challenges in their relationships. So
yeah. Oh yeah, we have some challenges.
But I think we could talk about how we got through it.
So who you think is always at fault? Me or you? I'm just kidding, dude. We're not going down that road, because we already know who's all at fault. Me. It's gonna be me. Watch. Especially since I preach Reverend Ike all the time.
I can't believe you asked that question.
What? No, but
what going back to expectations, I was thinking about like business wise too, because sometimes you have an expectation of how you want your business to go, but then in reality, other opportunities might come, better opportunities might come that you never thought about, or maybe it just happens a different way that you know.
That's a very good point. That's a very, very, very good point. What I try to teach people who I help are trying to run a business is, you might have all of these expectations, but I'm going to tell you, most of them won't go the way you believe it's going to go. It goes in the direction a lot of times unexpected. And you have to be flexible to know that it's going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of business. And and I've seen people, they have this, oh, I want my business like this. And then I say, okay, that's great. But what does the customer want from you? And the customer is the one who dictates how your business is going to run. How I was running my business 5 years ago, I don't run it like that now.
Right.
Although I had all these ideas, and then I realized, wait a minute, I'm putting myself in a box when I hold on to these ideas. When I got a customer saying, this works better for me.
Right.
Like for instance, this show started off what, Blog Talk Radio. Now we're doing videos.
Right.
Why? Because this is the trend. This is what people want to see you.
Mm-hmm.
They want to see the real you. They're calling in and just listening to a voice is kind of played out now.
Right.
I still would do that, but as some people who drive and just want to hear some audio, but the videos is what people want.
Right. And I think it goes along with relationships too, because you have to be flexible, and sometimes you have to, I don't want to say change, but you have to grow with the person.
Right.
Like
get some water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And one thing about a relationship over time, it does evolve and change.
Mm-hmm.
It changes for sure. And that's what you're gonna have to, because when you're young in a relationship, you have different things you want. But then as you grow, you say, okay, I changed that. And you have to be willing to be flexible and move with those changes as long as it's not too drastic, something just ridiculous. But one of the things you should expect, one thing consistent about life is change. That's the one expectation you should have, that it will change. Things will change, and accept that.
Right.
And I think that's really why a lot of things fail, business and relationships, because people don't want change.
Right. Right.
What I liked when I was 20, I don't want to do it now.
Right.
When I was 20, I was hanging out in clubs all night, 2 days out of the week, party. Now I have no desire to do that.
Right. Yeah.
Like, okay, go there, because I know what it is. It's just a bunch of, going to have a good time, and then you have a lot of pretentiousness and, and so it's not something that I don't mind doing it every now and then, but not all night,
Now I have a question for you. Oh, you were going to say something?
Go ahead, no.
So when you first met me, did you have expectations of our relationship?
Yeah, you had to have a big booty.
You were going to say something stupid.
Oh, you had to be good looking. Of course. That was
your expectation.
Yes.
Okay.
And good in bed.
That was your expectation?
No.
Are you serious? That's probably true.
I think everybody wants that, don't they? You want somebody better? Come on now.
I mean, but
I know we get a little deep here, but that's an expectation. You want good sex, I guess. You're right.
Okay. So that was your expectation.
That's part of it, but I mean,
like the first.
Sometimes if something is not exactly like you want, you work towards it. It's not not necessarily a deal breaker.
Okay.
You have expectations that are deal breakers. Then you have expectations. Okay, we could work on that type expectation.
Okay.
But okay, my expectations, truthfully, just being serious, was because I had a young daughter, someone that my daughter can look at and be an example.
Okay.
Not ratchet, and that's someone, because when you have children, you have to be mindful of who you're putting in front of them. And that was my expectation. So when I saw how you were raising your children and how you kept a pretty peaceful home, in a clean home, which was I didn't expect immaculate, but I got above you actually went beyond my expectations when it came to how you cleaned your home and all that. With the decorations and stuff. Y'all see the stuff behind us, right? See how she decorates? And there's one of the pictures over there, or over there. That's just a part, very good. I think she could be an interior designer. For
Really?
real. Yeah.
Okay.
By far the best, in any relationship, someone who take care of a good home. And I think that's important to men too.
Mm-hmm.
That a woman that knows how to take care of her home.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be
Yeah.
surprised. I've done cable, and I've been
Yeah, I
in
know you've
thousands
told
of
me the
homes.
stories.
And you'd be surprised how
Mm-hmm.
people are keeping their home.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and it's like, oh my God, you got to shake it. You can't even put your stuff in your truck.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want nothing taking that thing home with you.
Mm-hmm.
But though that I don't have, I was old enough to know that not to have over the top expectations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I still had to work on some things. Like I had some, okay, this is another being, that a human being I'm dealing with, and they have their different ways that I have to get used to.
Mm-hmm. I think when you're younger, I think for most people, you have more expectations in a
Yeah, you have
relationship. And then as you get
laundry list.
older, yeah, the expectations get
But men
mm-hmm.
expectations are very basic. We don't have a whole laundry list of expectations.
Mm-hmm.
But I think sometimes women misunderstand us and think we do. Think
Mm-hmm.
we have all of these expectations, right? Like I think some women think that most men want want a woman that is cooking all the time
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
serving them food.
Right.
I mean, I like that and I mind that, but I don't. That's not like hey, my woman got to do this
Right.
type thing, because I can cook for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And me being the oldest of six brothers and sisters, I had to cook for them and take
Mm-hmm.
care of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and then I saw my father cooking just as much as I saw my mother cooking.
Okay.
So that wasn't one of my things where, oh, my woman got to cook and better have my food on the table type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think any man who is thinking like that, he's a little bit unrealistic. A lot, because in this world with the way how expensive things is, most homes need two incomes. So the woman got to go to work
Mm-hmm.
to help, meet the bills that are in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good, I think that's good, that we have to really examine our expectations and make sure they're realistic,
Right. Yeah.
especially according to the person we're with,
Mm-hmm.
because some people don't know how to cook. I've seen where the men were better cookers than
Mm-hmm.
the wives. Like I have a buddy. I know, I've never eaten her food. I don't know. I don't, Esther and Thomas, I've
Mm-hmm.
never seen her
Mm-hmm.
cook. I don't know. I know she can, but
He cooks. That's
he
the thing.
does all
He
the
cooks.
cooking,
Yeah, I remember
and he cooks
talked
very
about
good. Like,
food
yeah, he
and
does all
he
of the
does all
cooking.
the
Yes,
cooking. Yeah.
I told him to open up a catering business or something.
Hmm. But he
Uh,
likes to cook, right?
right. He loves it. And that's the thing.
Right.
These traditional expectations are out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Because even in West Indian relationships, a lot of the men are cooks, very
Mm-hmm.
good cooks.
Mm-hmm.
They do the cooking and they brag about it. Hey, she can't cook like me. I'm better.
That's true.
So in that household, those are not expectations. And I think there's still a few men out there that have that crazy
Mm-hmm.
expectation that the
Mm-hmm.
woman is supposed to do that. So now, what expectations you have of me?
Um, I just wanted. I was just hoping that you were responsible.
Okay.
Yeah, that you were responsible, and that was
Why?
my first expectation.
Why was that? Why was that the first expectations?
Because I've dealt with in my past relationships, just dealt with men who are not that responsible.
Hmm.
So that was like my number one expectation.
That was it.
Oh, that wasn't it.
Okay.
But that was my number one expectation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can see that I was.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Never, lights don't go out.
no,
Never.
you're very responsible.
Mm,
So
yeah. Well, that came from my father. I always seen him getting up, going to work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he could work now, he'd still do it.
Mm-hmm.
He just retired.
And one thing I noticed about you that I didn't really expect when I first met you was how much you're such a good father. Now I
Oh,
would think that that should have been like one of my expectations, but it wasn't.
mm,
I mean, I guess it goes along with being responsible, but I just notice how you are with your children and how you take care of them. So,
so what do you mean? What is your definition of a good father?
well, someone that's just there, for their children, presently there. I think it's wonderful if a man can be a provider, but
Hmm.
I think they also need to be present, because that's where I think that's what people can remember. Like when I
Hmm.
think about, my parents, I think about the times that what they did for me and not like what they provided for me.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I guess you're right because that's when I think about my parents. I think about all the times they took us on vacation, took us to the parks where we had a good time. I remember those things. I
mhm,
know they worked hard to feed us and take care of us. Um, but what I remember most is the good things. The
mhm,
fun times we had. When my father was playing baseball with us,
mhm.
taught us how to ride a bike. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. Um, I remember that like it was yesterday because I kept falling.
Mhm,
And we only had one bike. Like we
mhm,
only for one bike, so we were sharing this bike, me and my brother.
mhm.
Um, and then yeah, I remember that when you
Yeah.
think about that.
Yeah. So those are the memories, you think about. And of course, it's great if you as a man is a good provider, but I think just being present is important, just as important.
And then also, I think you're right about the presence because I remember when my father started to really when he started working for the Transit Authority in New York, and
Mhm.
he started doing a lot of overtime, and
Mhm.
that's when a lot of the
The
park
hate.
stuff
Mhm.
went out the we didn't do that as much.
Okay. Okay.
Be going out. He slept. He used to work and then come home and just sleep. But then again, when he was doing the park stuff, it was just me and my brother, and it was 8 years between another child came.
Oh,
And then it
okay.
was right after
Yeah.
that, the twins came. My brother
Mhm.
Paul and Candace came, and then Rachel came after
Mhm.
that. So now you had 6 kids. So he had to work more.
Right.
He didn't do it
Right.
because I don't think he stopped doing that because he didn't want to. I think he just had to provide more because my mother had twins. So you talking about
Yeah.
Greg came along 8 years after my brother that was right under me.
Mhm.
Then I think 2 years later it was twins. That's three small babies,
Mhm.
and then Rachel
Mhm.
was 2 years after that. So that's four small children plus two,
Right.
six. Six
Right.
children to provide for. And my mother never really worked all the time. She worked here and there when
Right.
extra money was needed, but most of the time she stayed home.
Right. Right.
So I think when he started doing that, that's when we started seeing less of him, us going to the parks and stuff like that. And
Mhm. So you're
uh,
saying sometimes it can't happen where they're always present.
well, it's a choice. You
Right.
got to pay bills or priorities. Everybody's
Right.
got to eat, and we
Right.
never went hungry. We never. I mean, I remember going to school and getting teased because I had to pay for my lunch because my parents made too much
Mhm.
money.
Mhm.
So we were one of the few families living in Bedford Stuyvesant that was where the parents were still in the home.
Mhm.
And so having the expectation that he would keep continue doing that with more children
Mhm.
to take care of would have been unreasonable.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, I get that.
So, but my mother understood that. She understood that, and they're still pretty much family oriented. They take yearly trips uh, to different places
Mm-hmm.
with all of the grandchildren, but it hasn't happened lately because of COVID. But um, so
No, I'm just reading a Mexis. He said Akeem is funny, but Beth don't pay him no mind.
oh yeah,
Yes, he is funny.
but
And I don't pay him any mind.
Friday should be family night show. Yeah, that's a good idea, family. You know, we're gonna probably have some couples on here. Hopefully, we get some couples that we know to come on and talk about their journey too.
Mm-hmm.
And so, on that, give the money for school and weekend times. Akeem Beth. He said, I was there all for all three of my children, and even I might miss most of the activities at home and schools because I was on the road turning the
Mm-hmm.
wheel. But as long as I put food on the table and clothes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that's important. But I think also, even though we are providing, we should make our presence known by saying, hey, I am working. I
Mm-hmm.
think that would have made a big difference with my father. Instead of just doing that and
Mm-hmm.
providing, he should have explained what he was doing. Like talk to, hey,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm out here working because this is
Right,
what we
right.
need.
Instead of just
Just
disappear
well,
and
he wasn't
yeah.
disappearing. I know where he was. It's
Okay.
just as a child, you don't make those connections like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we're not going to the park, we're not doing something you're used to
Right,
doing,
right.
and it's just slowly fading away. And you're getting older, and as children get older, they drift away from the parents and want to do their own thing.
Okay.
I think if he'd have broke that down, hey man, I'm working. It's there's six of us, six
Mm-hmm.
of you guys I'm trying to feed.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed our time doing this,
Mm-hmm.
but this is what I'm doing now
Mm-hmm.
to pay the bills.
Right. But
Just
I mean,
communication.
yeah, communication, and you even found a way, like with your daughter, when she wasn't with you during the week, you, you would have her call you every night.
Right.
You know.
Well, I didn't, that kind of started on its own, where
Mm-hmm.
when I stopped being in the home with her, and from the time I left the home, she would call me every night at 8 o'clock before she went to bed. And that
Mm-hmm.
became a pattern.
Okay. Okay.
Now, there was a time, y'all, when I was doing my show, I would interrupt my show to talk to her. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have to do that anymore because she lives with me now. So no more 8 o'clock calls.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of happened on its own.
Mm-hmm.
And then I made it a point to pick her up. But the difference between what I had when I was young is I control my time
Mm-hmm.
now. So I can
Right.
make time, I can do the vacations, and I make point every year we're gonna do something.
Mm-hmm.
Every year we're gonna go somewhere. Like
Right.
we were just talking about, we done went to Disney, we Disneyed out, right? So we gotta figure something out else to do. We kind of let's go to Disney, let's go to Universal. Okay, we're gonna do something else
Yeah.
next time. Um, so, but I think it's not too much to have an expectation to do family time and vacations. That should be a reality. And when I say vacation, some families don't have that money
Right.
to maybe go to Universal because Universal is expensive
Mm-hmm.
and Disney is expensive. But you could just go to the local park,
Right.
go
Do
to
something. Yeah.
something within your town
Mm-hmm.
and do something. Just stop and go in your backyard if you
Right.
have one
Right. It's
and
that
lay out a
family
blanket
time.
and do something.
Right.
There's something you can do if you can't spend the money. Money is not necessary to have a good time with your
Mm-hmm.
family.
I think that's a good expectation to have. Not everybody has that, but I think it's a good one.
Yeah, even though you are working, may have to work and do stuff like that, but
Mm-hmm.
hey, you can you can make time
Right.
to do something. You know, break out. Hey, let's sit in the backyard and just sit around and talk or something.
Mm-hmm.
Do a little
Mm-hmm.
cookout. It said, don't trust Disney in Florida or California because children go missing all the time. I heard stories like that in about that, but fortunate for us, we have been. I watch my children. I don't let them out my sight. So that's children are going missing because they be letting their children out of their sight.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
Yeah.
that's true because One time I took Lauren to Carowinds, and this little girl came up and was kind of too friendly, talking to her. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
and she asked if can she go over there with me on this ride? I was like, no, I don't know who you are. And it was a little girl, very young, and I know
Mm-hmm.
somebody was off in the distance watching, like getting her to get children away from their parents. So,
That's scary.
yeah, she got on the right. She was a very young girl. They
Mm.
use, little kids like that to snatch up kids, but
Right.
that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but I was like, no, I don't know what she was thinking. I would just let her go. Oh, go, yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Mm.
please. um, anyway, so what time is it? Oh, 7:40.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything
Okay.
else as far as
Well, I
expectation?
I think it's a good topic. I mean, yeah, expectations versus reality.
One big thing I want to say is a lot of people do have an expectation. Number
Mm-hmm.
one, they don't communicate it, what it is. And
Mm-mm.
number two, sometimes the expectations are not based in reality,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And this is why you see some people go in and out of relationships because they
Mm-hmm.
have these unrealistic expectations. They have an image, like I said in the beginning, they have an image of a person that they created that
Right.
only exists in their mind.
Right.
No one fits that image
Mm-hmm.
that they're with. Instead of getting into, I think your expectation should be this. This is what I've learned. When you meet someone, you're with them, only expectations you should have is whoever they are presenting to you. Accept them how they're presenting themselves to you. Have that
Mm-hmm.
expectation set. This is who they are. Accept that, and then decide how you want to move with that.
Okay. Okay.
Because if you
And then
take out all of
decide.
these
Right.
extra stuff, then okay, this is the person I want to deal with or not. If they're not
Right.
respectful, and that's one of the expectations that you can't, that's a deal breaker for you, you move on,
Right.
right? So just expect to accept that person as they
As they
are,
are.
and then make a
Mm-hmm.
decision if that's the person you're going to be with or not, and move on or stay.
Right. But sometimes when you meet someone, they don't act like they really are.
Oh, I think
Like you have to
everybody
get
puts
to
on a show
yeah,
in the
it
beginning.
takes time to really get to know
Right.
a person.
You'll see over time. People can't hide themselves, their real person.
Right.
And how you know what you have is when you have adversity.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's when you know who you're dealing with. When they how they present themselves under adversity.
Mhm.
Are they the type of person that want to hurt, injure you, look to destroy you and break you down?
Right.
Um, you know, that's important because if that's the person you have, then you're not going to have a good life with them.
Mhm.
So, they're vindictive when they get angry, you know. So,
All right.
what? Nothing else? You
No.
didn't go and finish off your expectations. You said
I thought
one or
I
two.
did. Well, yeah, I thought I
You
did.
said good father. What
Yeah.
else?
I said loving,
Responsible.
being responsible, respectful.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think everything else comes, you have to get to know the person.
Okay. All right.
But just to let you know, like you have met all of my expectations.
Okay. Thank you. I'm happy to know that.
Yes,
He said, Maxim said, I'm staying with my woman who I've been with over 20 years
20
because
years.
it's
Wow.
cheaper to keep her by Johnny Taylor.
Cheaper to keep her.
Yeah, yeah, it is cheaper, but I know you love her too. You couldn't live without that woman. Yeah. All right, so we got what? Sunday show coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing a show this week?
Yes, I'm gonna
Okay.
try to. Yes.
You just gonna try to do a show Sunday. The reason why I'm asking because Friday is the day we tie the whole
Mm-hmm.
solidify everything.
Yeah.
Um,
Are you excited?
basically we kind of renewing things because we did this
Yeah.
back in 2017. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward. I'm looking well without having too much expectation. Anybody seen that movie? Hangover, the Hangover movies. I want a night like that. Just kidding. Now with all they did some crazy stuff. Some of that stuff we can leave out. But I like that series. I have 1, 2, and 3. It was so funny that those movies. The Hangover. If you haven't seen them, go watch them. They're hilarious. Just crazy. Um,
Well, yeah, I'm excited too.
yeah, I introduced Beth to you are. I introduced Beth to the Hangover. Yeah, it was funny. It was a funny
It
movie. I think we're
was.
gonna watch the second one tonight.
Okay.
We're gonna watch it. Um,
We started it already.
yeah, we did.
Gotta.
But you remember how it started off?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. I just fell asleep.
It wasn't that good. You fell asleep.
No, it
Is that
was
what you trying to
good.
say?
It was
Okay.
good, but
All right.
yeah, I was just tired.
All right, everybody. Shoot, that's 7:46. We got the Raising Independent Thinkers show on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Then we back to Tuesday. My show. I'm skeptical. I'm not skeptical. I'm
And the Brothers Hill show.
in the Brothers Hill show, 4 o'clock
Mm-hmm.
on Tuesdays. That definitely has happened. The 4 o'clock show. The 7 o'clock show, I'm not sure because I got 2 days from there. We're leaving, and I'm not doing consultations all next week. Um, so just preparing for leaving and coming back. Um, so the Brothers Hill. Oh yeah. Jessica and Tasia did their show the other
Oh,
day.
did
They did it on Wednesday because I think it was
Oh.
Jessica's birthday on Thursday.
they? Okay.
So they're
That's
back.
good.
They came back.
Okay.
So Divine Connection show is back.
Okay. Maybe we could do
They
a
had a
little
little-
quick something
What
next week.
on Friday?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe take our stuff with us. We do it from Las Vegas, live in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Our journey. That'd be part of our journey. Yeah.
We could do
Yeah, maybe
something-
we could
something
do
like
that
a
at 7
quick
o'clock. I made reservations at that. I think I made that reservation for Thursday.
show.
We didn't make
Okay.
any reservations Friday.
Okay.
So okay, no, don't hold us to it because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So we might be out there wilding out. Who knows? Oh, I gotta get in touch with Big Sean. He told me to let him know. The one we just did the trust for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he told me to let him know. If he's
Okay.
watching, hopefully he sees the show. I'll email him later. I got a lot of connections in Vegas. People I've done about 2 or 3 seminars out there.
Okay.
Good people in Vegas. I love the people in Vegas. Who's out there? There's Big Sean. What's his wife? I forgive me. She has her name is my bad. It's actually it was Treasure.
Treasure.
I
Okay.
think that's
I'll remember that.
yeah. That's why I was like it's a name.
Treasure. Okay.
And then yeah, it was on the paperwork I think
Okay.
on the trust. Remember?
No, I didn't see treasure on there, but
Yes, it was. Maybe I'm got it mixed up. I hope I ain't. Oh Lord, you ain't about to get me in trouble.
yeah, I mean,
Was it treasure?
I would have remembered that name,
Hang on, I'm about to see.
but I could be wrong.
I would
but
make this right. Hang on. Where's this? Da-da-da-da.
let's Let's see who's right.
There it is, Big Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I told you. Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. Was this the last one?
The last one.
Oh, I didn't do that one yet.
Oh, you didn't look at it.
No,
okay.
I didn't look.
Okay.
I didn't look at that one
Yeah,
because
you
I'm like,
working
I
on
would
that.
have remembered that name.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't. Do
That's
that one.
right. That's right. Cause yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
didn't.
All right. Well, there we
Well, I
go.
was wrong.
Save myself. I was getting nervous there. All right, everybody. Y'all have a good night. And until next time, maybe we'll do something Friday. Probably will.
Yeah.
Something really
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
Maybe late.
Okay. Okay.
Do something. Maybe a 30-minute show.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe we'll just go live from our phones and let them see what we're doing out there.
Oh, that'll be cool.
See how that work out.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Have a good night and peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all.
Peace, everyone.
And remember to press the like button so that we can get more people watching. All right, peace.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.